Hello and welcome to our channel. Are you learning English? Great! Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment. Let's get started.
Ion sat quietly in the corner of his small room by the window. Outside, the rain poured heavily, blurring the world beyond the glass. Inside him, a storm much fiercer raged, confusion, anger, sadness, emotions clashing like waves during a tempest. For weeks, Ion had been feeling lost. Small failures, endless overthinking, emotional breakdowns. It felt like life was slipping out of his hands. One evening, while searching through an old drawer, he stumbled upon a dusty, leather-bound journal. It was his grandfather's. On the very first page, in neat, fading handwriting, were the words, "The greatest victory in life is conquering your own mind and emotions." Below it, there were 15 powerful lessons, timeless wisdom that promised transformation to anyone willing to practice them. And so, Ion's journey towards self-mastery began. Tip 1. Practice mindful breathing. The first tip was simple, yet profound. Control your breath, control your mind. That night, after the rain stopped, Ion stepped outside. The fresh, earthy scent of the wet ground filled his lungs. He closed his eyes and simply breathed. At first, his mind resisted. Thoughts rushed in, worries tugged at him. But he remembered the instruction, just notice your breath. Inhale, exhale. Slowly, like a storm settling into calm waves, his mind began to quiet. Ion realized breathing wasn't just automatic. It was the secret bridge between chaos and peace. Tip 2. Understand your emotions. Don't fight them the next morning. Ion read the second tip. Feel your emotions. Understand them. Don't fight or suppress them. He remembered how he always tried to bury his anger, hide his sadness, force himself to stay strong. But the journal said otherwise. Emotions are like visitors. Acknowledge them, sit with them, and they will leave on their own. That day, when he felt irritation building up after a harsh comment from a colleague, Ion didn't react. Instead, he whispered inwardly, "I see you, anger. You are here. Why?" It was uncomfortable at first, but when he allowed himself to fully feel the emotion without judgment, it lost its grip on him faster than ever before. Tip 3. Detach from outcomes. In the following pages, another lesson stood out boldly. Focus on your actions, not the outcomes. Ion reflected on his recent failures, job interviews, creative projects, friendships. Each time he failed, it crushed him because he was so attached to winning. He decided to shift. Instead of obsessing over what will happen, he would give his best effort and let the results take care of themselves. Freedom came rushing in when he detached his happiness from success or failure. His only concern now, did I give my 100%? Tip 4. Develop a morning mind ritual. Another golden rule. Win the morning, win the day. The journal suggested creating a personal ritual, even just 10 minutes, to set the tone of the mind. So Ion crafted his routine. 2 minutes of deep breathing, 3 minutes of gratitude, 5 minutes of visualization, seeing himself calm, strong, and peaceful. It sounded too simple to be effective, but after a few days, he could feel the shift. His mornings no longer started with chaos or phone notifications. They started with purpose. Tip 5. Practice emotional labeling. One evening, after a long, tiring day, Ion found himself overwhelmed once again. He picked up the journal and read, "Name your emotions. It gives you power over them." It seemed strange. Name them. But he tried. Instead of drowning in feelings, he paused and said to himself, "I feel frustrated. I feel anxious. I feel disappointed." To his surprise, simply labeling his emotions made them feel less terrifying, less uncontrollable. It was like shining a flashlight in a dark room. The monsters became much smaller than he had imagined. Ion realized, if you can name it, you can tame it. Tip 6. Create mental space. Next, the journal spoke about the power of mental space. When you feel overwhelmed, step back. Breathe. Take distance from your mind's noise. He remembered all the times he reacted impulsively, texting back angrily, quitting halfway, or breaking into tears. Now, when emotions ran high, Ion began to practice a simple rule: pause. Sometimes he would go for a walk. Other times, he would just close his eyes and imagine himself floating above his problems, like an eagle soaring above the storm clouds. Distance brought perspective. Problems that once seemed gigantic shrank when he viewed them from higher ground. Tip 7. Challenge negative thoughts. There was one particular morning Ion woke up feeling like a complete failure. A small mistake from yesterday echoed in his head. You're not good enough. The journal had prepared him for this. It said, thoughts are not facts. Challenge them. So instead of believing the voice, he asked, is this thought true? What evidence do I have? What would I say to a friend feeling this way? Slowly, logically, he dismantled the lie his mind was telling him. Ion discovered, the mind often tells stories that aren't true, and you don't have to believe every story. Tip 8. Set clear intentions for your emotions. Next tip. Decide how you want to feel and align your actions accordingly. This was a revolutionary idea for Ion. He always thought emotions just happen, but now he realized he had a say. Each morning, he started setting emotional goals. Today, I intend to be calm. Today, I intend to be patient. Today, I intend to be kind. And during the day, whenever he started drifting, he gently steered himself back to his intention, like a captain guiding a ship through rough waters. Tip 9. Embrace impermanence. Some nights were still heavy. Loneliness, regret, fear, they visited like uninvited guests. But the journal reminded him, everything changes. No emotion is permanent. He repeated a mantra, whenever sadness gripped him, this too shall pass. And it did. Just as storms give way to sunshine, so did his dark moods eventually lift. All he needed was patience. Ion understood, pain is like weather. It comes, it goes. You are the sky, vast and untouched. Tip 10. Surround yourself with emotional mirrors. The next wisdom was about people. The people around you reflect and influence your emotional state. Ion reflected on his circle. Some friends were energy drainers, always complaining, always negative. Others were silent warriors, optimistic, resilient, and kind. Gradually, he chose better company. He spent time with those who challenged him to be better, not bitter. His emotional environment changed, and so did he. Tip 11. Practice gratitude daily. One evening, during a low moment, Ion found tip 11. Gratitude rewires your brain toward positivity. It sounded cliché, but he tried it anyway. Each night, before sleeping, he wrote down 3 things he was grateful for: a stranger's smile, a good cup of tea, a kind word from a colleague. At first, it felt mechanical, but slowly, he began noticing small blessings everywhere, things he once took for granted. Gratitude became his shield against negativity. Tip 12. Visualize success calmly. Visualization wasn't new to Ion, but he had always done it with anxiety, not calm. Now, he learned a new way. Visualize your success with peace, not pressure. He would close his eyes and picture himself succeeding, giving presentations, handling conflicts, smiling through challenges, all with a deep sense of ease. This shifted his entire energy. He wasn't chasing success out of fear anymore. He was attracting it through calm, confident expectation. Tip 13. Stay physically grounded. One afternoon, after a particularly stressful meeting, Ion noticed his hands trembling slightly. The journal reminded him, the mind and body are connected. Calm your body to calm your mind. So he stood barefoot on the grass, feeling the earth under him. He did slow stretches. He placed one hand over his heart and breathed deeply. Instantly, he felt more centered. It wasn't magic, it was biology. The body, when calmed, sends safety signals to the mind. Tip 14. Forgive yourself quickly. Mistakes were inevitable. Ion still messed up, said the wrong thing, forgot important tasks, failed to meet expectations. But now, instead of drowning in guilt, he followed this advice: forgive yourself fast. Learn, move on. He would whisper to himself, I forgive you. You are learning. You are growing. Self-compassion was not weakness. It was the fuel that kept him moving forward. Tip 15. Commit to lifelong growth. Finally, the last lesson. Mastery of mind and emotions is a journey, not a destination. There would be good days and bad days, wins and losses, progress and setbacks. Ion accepted it all. He was no longer chasing perfection. He was embracing evolution. Every breath, every choice, every thought was part of the magnificent dance of becoming.